Godzilla's Heisei series spans 7 films from The Return of Godzilla to Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. This era, named after Japan's imperial period, relaunched the King of Monsters in a darker, more continuous storyline. The Return of Godzilla effectively rebooted the franchise, dropping all previous sequels except the 1954 original. That film, released during Japan's late Showa era, re-established Godzilla as a terrifying force, setting the tone for the decade. With a booming Japanese film industry in the 1980s, Toho equipped Godzilla with bigger budgets, over $6 million for Return, and state-of-the-art effects, preparing audiences for a high-stakes kaiju revival. In a grim, Cold War-tinged Tokyo, Godzilla emerges from Mount Mihara, awakening the atomic nightmare once more. The tone is bleak and serious, reminiscent of Honda's 1954 original. Godzilla is a pure force of nature, immune to conventional weapons, as Japan's self-defense forces scramble to stop him. Directed by Koji Hashimoto and written by Hidechi Nagahara, the film features a new 18-foot Cybot Godzilla suit, crafted under Teruyoshi Nakano's special effects supervision, and a dramatic Reijiro Kuroku score. Hashimoto, who had worked on lighter Showa entries, consciously made Godzilla scary again. The cast includes newcomer Yasuko Sawaguchi as Naoko Okumura, the anguished geologist whose father's death motivates her, and Ken Takakura as the beleaguered prime minister. On its opening day in Japan, Return drew about 800,000 viewers and ultimately sold 3.2 million tickets, earning roughly 2.55 billion yen, 11 million domestically. The later American release, Godzilla 1985, grossed about $4.1 million. Notably, producer Tomoyuki Tanaka insisted on focusing solely on Godzilla in this film, rejecting calls for a second monster to recapture the original spirit. Return redefined Godzilla for a new generation, banishing the campy tone of the 1970s and unleashing a hungry nuclear beast once more. Godzilla vs. Biollante, released 5 years later, Kazuki Omori brought Godzilla back to face a creature born of grief and science. After a brief montage of Godzilla's cells causing an arms race, Japan versus foreign interests, the story focuses on Dr. Genichiro Shiragami, a botanist mourning his daughter's death, fuses Godzilla's cells with his late daughter Erika's DNA, and a rose he cherished, inadvertently creating Biollante, a massive plant beast with a human soul. The mood is gothic and tragic, blending Godzilla action with mad scientist drama. Composer Koichi Sugiyama crafts a sweeping, emotional score. Biollante's design, by Shinji Nishikawa, is noteworthy, a giant rose-headed monster with vines and corrosive sap. The film's Japanese box office was moderate, about 2 million attendance and 1.04 billion yen, $7 million, gross, below Toho's hopes. It failed to meet expectations, even leading Kawakita into distress before his later success. Biollante was the first Toho film shot with 70mm optical compositing to reduce grain. Though not a smash hit, Biollante remains memorable for its striking creature and mature tone, pushing Godzilla into a realm of biohorror. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, released in 1991, sees the saga accelerated into the future, where the tone shifts to sci-fi pulp adventure. A 23rd century Futurian, cultists, travel back to 1992 to warn of Godzilla's threat and secretly to alter history. Guided by author Kenichiro Terasawa, they learn Godzilla originally came from a dinosaur on Lagos Island in 1944. To prevent him, they irradiate 3 ancient space dragon embryos, Dorats, creating King Ghidorah in 1992 Tokyo. The 3-headed dragon rampages, but Godzilla is resurrected from his own revived state. In the end, Godzilla defeats Ghidorah, only to turn on Tokyo in rage. Directed again by Kazuki Omori, who also scripted, Ghidorah features returns. Akira Ifukube's music theme is resurrected. The final Ifukube-composed Godzilla score, and legendary Ghidorah is updated in Koichi Kawakita's effects. Shogo Tomiyama and Tomoyuki Tanaka produced. This film was a significant hit, about 2.7 million tickets sold, roughly 1.45 billion yen, or $11 million in Japan, a recovery after Biollante. It also introduced Mothra's prehistoric origins and even time travel into the Godzilla mythos. Kawakida's financial and creative rebound began here. He found success after Biollante's letdown. King Ghidorah fundamentally reshaped the franchise's lore by retconning Godzilla's birth and proving that even time travel couldn't stop Japan's King of Monsters. In Godzilla vs. Mothra, director Takao Okawara, an assistant director on earlier entries, delivered the grandest spectacle yet. This film balances Godzilla's return with Japan's beloved guardian, Mothra. The plot sees Godzilla digging himself out of Yokohama, trapped by Ghidorah's comet, and clashing with two colossal moth titans, Bright Mothra and the darker Batra, awakened by an impending meteorite. The tone is sweeping and epic, mixing human drama, a cult of Mothra believers guided by twin fairies, with lavish kaiju warfare. Omori, writer, and Okawara, director, were backed by Tomiyama Tanaka producers, and Ifukube's stirring themes once more soar over the action. Kawakida's effects bring life to towering cocoons and city-destroying battles. Filmed on an elaborate 80 million yen Yokohama set, Mothra became the highest-grossing Godzilla movie in Japan at the time, about 4.2 million viewers and 2.22 billion yen, $20 million, a record that stood until Shin Godzilla. In 2016, the storm meteor effects were crafted by Namco's video game team, and Ifukube even earned a Japanese Academy Award nomination for his score, bringing a Showa-era icon like Mothra back, alongside new tech like giant robot defense lasers, made this film a nostalgic fan favorite. Its subtitle, Battle for Earth, was already a US home video title, shown as Godzilla and Mothra in America, hinting at the global reach of Heisei Godzilla. Next came a more playful entry. In Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, Godzilla faces both human and monster-made enemies. NASA builds a new robotic weapon, CGM-01, nicknamed Mechagodzilla, to combat the threat, while in a twist, the young Godzilla Jr., grown from Biollante's fallen plant, bonds with him. The mood mixes colorful spectacle with humor. Children idolize the black-suited Godzilla Jr., and mecha versus monster battles fill the screen. Directed by Takao Okawara, his second time, written by Wataru Mimura, this film introduces the Silverhawks-inspired mecha, and even features the return of the Pteranodon Rodan as an ally. Tomiyama and Tanaka produce again. Ifukube's score adds heroic flair. The box office was solid, about 3.8 million in Japan and 1.87 billion yen, $18 million. Interestingly, this film spawned a merchandising goldmine, roughly $158 million in licensed product sales, far outstripping its box office. It was also the series' first entry with a fully digital soundtrack. Mechagodzilla 2 cemented the versus formula, high-tech wonder versus ancient kaiju, with a dash of cute levity in Godzilla Jr., who would become senior sidekick. The Heisei series then went into orbit. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla introduces a bizarre new monster born of Godzilla's own cells thrown into space. Space Godzilla is a crystalline, double-energy version of Godzilla bent on conquering Earth. Godzilla and Jr. face this foe near Mount Fuji with the help of a rocket-powered battleship, Mogwera, and psychic Miki Sagusa's visions. Director Kensho Yamashita makes his debut, scripted by Hiroshi Kashiwabara. Tanaka and Tomiyama produce as always. The music shifts to a modern score by Takayuki Hattori with nods to Ifukube. This film's feel is sci-fi heavy and a bit campy. Bright energy weapons, mutant crystals, and a space clone theme. It earned about 3.4 million attendance in Japan, 1.65 billion yen, approximately $20 million, a respectable but lower haul compared to Mothra's peak. It also formally reintroduces Godzilla Jr. as Little Godzilla Jr., fighting at Godzilla's side. While Space Godzilla is often fondly mocked by fans for its outlandish premise, it exemplifies the era's willingness to push Godzilla into new genres, in this case, cosmic kaiju adventure. The Heisei saga culminates in Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, a film as tragic as the original. Here, Godzilla suffers a meltdown. His nuclear heart goes critical, creating a burning, brooding aura as he staggers into Tokyo. At the same time, the Oxygen Destroyer, the weapon that killed the original 1954 Godzilla, mutates into the crustacean Destoroyah, which spawns deadly mini-monsters. The plot brings Dr. Shiragami's son Kenichi, survivor of Biollante, to help stop this new menace. The tone is apocalyptic and heart-wrenching. Godzilla will die to save Japan. Director Takao Okawara and writer Kazuki Omori deliver the finale. Shogo Tomiyama produces alongside Tomoyuki Tanaka and Koji Hashimoto. Akira Ifukube posthumously scores from archive themes. Kawakida's special effects show the city aflame and Godzilla's body cracking. Destoroyah drew about 4.0 million viewers, earning roughly 2.0 billion yen, or $18 million, making it, behind only Mothra, the second biggest Heisei hit. Its ending, the death of Godzilla and the ascension of Godzilla Jr. as the new champion, was meant as a send-off before Toho planned a 10-year hiatus. The title's spelling, Destoroyah, is a stylized nod to Destroyer. This final chapter has had lasting influence. It finally settled Godzilla's fate and introduced a heroic junior Godzilla, bridging into the series' eventual rebirth, Shin Godzilla, etc. years later. As Destoroyah's lair collapses, the original series theme echoes. The king has fallen, but the legend lives on. Thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe.